get that money, secure that bag, ayy. Boss up, get that money, secure that bag, ayy. Boss up, boss up, boss up, get that money, get that money. She a queen and they love her cause she got her own place, own car, she let go.
Good morning, my beautiful people. It's Fresh Face Fridays.
Why?
Fresh face. I don't have my bat wings on today. And I told y'all I had to retire old Lucy. I had to give her a break. But my hair been growing though.
Hi.
Hi. Hey, I was gonna get to you next. You just had to say hey early.
Two.
But how y'all doing?
Two.
He telling y'all he too.
Two.
They know. Wait a minute. I'm gonna give you your introduction in a minute. It's your girl Shay and Emeka from Simply Magnolias and Honey. Just a Southern girl living life like it's golden. No matter how thick and sticky life gets, remember it is what?
What?
Golden.
What?
Mickey, what you want for breakfast?
Me.
Yeah. What do you want to eat for breakfast? Do you want some French toast sticks?
Six.
Do you want some You want some waffles, French toast sticks?
Bubble.
And what did you tell me? What you tell me you wanted? Burger.
Want it.
You want a burger? You want it?
Burger.
A burger. And what else?
Two.
You want two of them?
Two.
Do you want two burgers?
Two.
Mickey, what else do you want?
Two. Five. Two. Two.
Do you what do you want?
Two. One.
I'm about to get you some.
Five.
We about to go get some Burger King. I gotta finish the other half of your head. I didn't finish.
On.
Huh? What's on your arm? I know it's you.
You.
What's on your arm though?
Two.
What is that?
4. 2. 5.
But anyway, y'all, I came on here to.
Wait.
That girl license plate said 888.
Yo,
First thing in the morning, sitting right here beside me.
Pooty. Me. Pooty.
It's 3888.
Car.
I told y'all these numbers be following me everywhere. Like for real. I just got here. Like I'm so serious. Like.
Two.
They follow me everywhere. You can't run from it. For real. But anyway, yeah, today I gotta tell y'all about this crazy tail dream that I had. It was so spiritual. It's not even funny.
Mom.
Yes, son. You know that thing, tell me your son is clingy without telling me your son is clingy. But he's so sweet though. I'll wake up and he'll kiss me on my forehead. Or he'll grab my hand and then he'll kiss my little hand. I'm like, thank you, him. I'm like, thank you, baby. Thank you, baby. So I'm gonna. He's so.
Hi.
You wanted to be the Emeka show today? What you want to tell them?
Daddy.
Baby. That's Mr. Peanut.
Huh?
You don't know about this show.
Peanut.
No, you don't know about this show.
We jump. Look.
Mm-hmm.
Look. That.
Mm-hmm.
Look. That.
Mm-hmm.
Look
Come here, boy.
at
And look at it. What? Shoot.
it. Look.
I'm hungry. My stomach is in my booty.
Hmm?
Shoot, I'm waiting on you to figure out what you want to eat.
Booty.
And what you was wanting to eat. Uh-huh. We sitting out here in the rain.
Wait.
Before I really get into this,
Ta-da.
I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna feed him, and while he's stuffing his face, then I'm gonna have the chance.
Say
Then I'm gonna have the opportunity to tell y'all what this dream was. But a lot of my dreams lately, like the first three I told y'all was the Egyptian like past life type dream type stuff. Then like my two older girl cousins that I used to look up to, like I used to be like, oh my gosh, I want to be like her. I want to be like them. I don't know, for whatever reason, I was dreaming about them two the other day. I don't even, the dream didn't even make sense. I don't even know where we was. No,
Tinning.
no.
Tinning.
But let me feed him. Get him some food so he can be distracted by his stuff in his face. So let me get from around here. All right, let me go ahead and get out of here real quick. Hey y'all. I'm back. Remember the last time I left off was I had Mecky in the car and he just wanted to show everybody. He wanted to make his little debut, remember? Okay. But the real reason I wanted to make this video was about this dream that I had, remember? Okay. And then also, I got two of my favorite movies the other day at Walmart. Because I was like, you know what? I've been such a homebody. Like, I don't, like, listen, when I tell you I don't go nowhere, I don't. I'll be staying my tail right on in the house. Even, you know what? I used to think that, okay, soon, my divorce was final. And, every other weekend, okay, that'll be my little chance. Okay, all right, I'm just going to just chill out and, or maybe go out, maybe a little lounge, or, just go meet, for little friends, whatever stuff. Child, please. I'll be sitting right in this big tail bed and just be chilling, watching the movies or talking to y'all. But I went and got me some movies. And I went and got my favorite of all time. There's 3 movies that are my top favorite of all time. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, which I have a whole chapter in my first book, Humble Pie, about that. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, right? That's one of my favorite movies. The next movie is Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory with the original Gene Wilder. Not the Johnny Depp one. That one looked too like fake or animated or something. But I'm talking about the old school throwback junk. That one. Okay. And then now the next one is the Planet of the Apes. The newest ones. Not them old like I don't even know when the originals came out, like 1950s, I guess. I don't know. Sure. But like Caesar, that one. Then Avatar. And I got a lot to say about that. I'm finna hop up off this bed. Hop up off this bed and pause this joker real quick. Hold on, Caesar. Oh shoot, they done unplugged the daggone controller. They done unplugged my daggone Xbox controller. Oh, he had the good part too. Oh, get him, Caesar. Oh, get him. All right, let me stop. Come on, why the controller not working? Oh shoot, there you go. Okay. All right, so anyway, I want to tell y'all about this dream that I had. Now I already told y'all that my gifts are really starting to awaken, like for real, like these dreams. Okay, so I told you these dreams that I be having was they really start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They really starting to like be just like becoming more, and I'm having more than one different ones in the night sometimes. Like before, I would have like one, and I wouldn't have one for like a year. But in this past, like I would say, like 3 months. It's like now maybe like in the past, yeah, I would say that about the past like 3 months. I had the Egyptian ones. I had the some other ones, but like the little soulmate confirmation type thing. I had that one. I had like last night. I had a dream about like my cousins, my two older girl cousins that I used to follow around all the time. Every time I went home, and I just happened to, and I haven't spoken to them in years. All of a sudden, they just popped in my dream, and I'm like, but we were all dressed up as if we was at like a convention or something. And then my cousin, who is a very well-known barber out of the Chi-Town area, Chicago, and he was in the cut cutting somebody here in the dream. Like I guess we were at a showcase or something. I don't know what it was, but it was like everybody was dressed up. He was cutting somebody head in the corner, or doing something in the corner. Like he was leaning back, going like this, cutting somebody head. I don't know. My two older girl cousins, and the one I ain't seen, and man, I ain't seen her since maybe since I was maybe about 7 for real. Maybe 10. Maybe that might have been the oldest. I don't know that I was. But anyway, but this one right here. So there's this young little boy at my job. Remember a couple videos back where I was doing a video and I was sitting down and I was like, "Hey, y'all, say hey to my little friend Deucey." And he was like, "Hey, Deucey." He was like, I was like, "All right." So then I was like, "All right, cool." Well, apparently, and he's a little young boy, so stop it. Don't do that. So apparently, me and Deucey, I guess we had went out to DC because I live in the DMV area, in Maryland, and I guess we decided to take a trip out to DC for whatever reason. And I guess we was like, let's just go chill, Shay Shay, because he called me Shay Shay. Let's go chill, Shay Shay. We went out to DC, and we were driving both our cars. I was driving, Yuki, and he was driving like this big, like almost like a light blue, baby bluish color. What looked like an excursion or something like that, maybe. What looked like, I don't know what it was. But anyway, I kind of wrote it down. So I said, Deucey, me and you was in DC. I was driving, you was driving. We linked up, chilled when it was time to go. So I can see us like standing out on like the sidewalk of DC, and then across the street, like they were doing like, I guess like some type of like construction. And there was a median, like a barrier. You can either make a U-turn. DC crazy. If y'all ever drive around, for all my non-DMV folk out there, if you've ever come out to DC and drive, listen, you better catch a Uber. You better go get a lift. You better go take them daggone downtown trolley things that be going up and down the street, because if you knew and you try to drive out here with all of these one ways, and with all of the new gentrification that they was been doing out there, everything is all type of whatever. But anyway, so it was new construction across the street, and so me and him was just saying, we were just like, yeah, blah blah blah, just chopping it up. And then so I was like, all right, well, I'll catch you later, dude. And then so he ran across the street. I stood there to make sure he got into was about to head to his car, but he was parked on like here was the median. He was parked on the opposite end of all the cars were parked on so all he had to do was literally just pop a U and go about his business, going back up the street to catch the highway. So for whatever reason, he was trying to make a U-turn, but he couldn't make the U-turn. So when he tried to he tried to then back up. So when he backed up, there was like a white, like it was a big, like one of them big glass type trucks or like bus or some type of truck like that. And it was in the back of him. So he ran in the back of that. And I guess that hit one of the construction something. And I said, oh my gosh. He just like, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's about to, oh, the insurance is, ooh. And I'm sitting there like, oh, the insurance. I'm like, Dosey, what are you doing? And next thing you know, the cars behind him started to drop. Like things started to drop, meaning they started to drop into the ground. And next thing you know, I saw his truck slide back like this and his truck dropped. I said, yo, I hauled tail. Yes, my big tail. I mean, look, I used to be a track star. Oh, she a track star. Yeah, I was running that day, boy. Man, I hauled tail, short. I hauled tail across the street. And I'm screaming his name the entire time. Look, okay, so then it's like, white truck, Okay, so when I ran across the street to see even the white truck, as I watched the freaking car, I can see the man in the white truck. I can see his body literally go like this inside the window. But Deucey had tint on his window, so I couldn't see, inside of his truck. But all I could see was the nose of his truck slide and go like that, and he was gone. I said, oh my gosh. And it just looked like the plane. It just looked, all I saw was like the big building that they were building, right? I hauled tail across that street, boy, and I ran over. Everybody was screaming and carrying on, but it looked like I was the was like concerned or something. I felt like y'all don't see this. I'm looking around like y'all don't see the daggone ground fill in. It looked like a mini Grand Canyon, like a sinkhole done fell over 200 feet down into the ground. But normally most sinkholes are complete darkness, right? Check this out. I ran across the street. I ran across the street from the surface. It looked like rubble. Okay. So from the surface, as I tried to look down into the sinkhole, it looked like it was dark, bunch of course, rubble and dark. So I guess that's where all the surface stuff went. But I found my way to like the side, like the guardrail where they, kind of like blocked the construction to the regular road. So I found my way around that, and I started like climbing down, and I'm like, dang, I started sweating. I was getting hot. I'm like, dang, this is a long way down, shoot. But I didn't care. I was like, okay, all right. I started playing, climbing the rocks on the way down, trying to figure my way out. So, but the more and more I started to notice, it started getting a little bit lighter and lighter and lighter down there. And I'm like, okay. So as I finally made it to the bottom, I happened to look up. I had to be at least like 500 feet. It looked like I was upside down. So when I looked up, it looked like nothing but darkness, as if that is the ground. But then when I looked down where I was, it was light down there. Like it literally looked like a whole nother world. Let me keep reading. So, but I climbed and it was this cave, like for real. It was like this cave, like sparkling water. Like it was like a sparkling river type of thing, right? With exotic fish and beings. And one of the fish started to talk to me. Then this being appeared. Hold on. Behind me, telling me, I'm sorry, but as soon as I woke up, I literally scribbled it on this half beaten up paper, trying to get every detail from my memory, right? So forgive me. And so I'm trying to read my writing. Okay. What did I say? I said, I climbed and it was this cave like sparkling river with exotic fish and beings, and this fish started talking to me. Like it was like the fish was like floating in mid water. It was like okay. So it was almost like once I climbed to the bottom, the water came up to maybe about knee deep on me. But when I happened to like look up, there was like an invisible wall, but the fish were like floating around in the water, but they couldn't pass a certain like, because there was like a wall of water or whatever. But it was so seamless, you would have never even been able to tell. And there was this big, like, it looked like a bass fish for real, like them jokers with the big long jokers, like the big long wide mouth. He was just sitting here floating in the water watching me, like. And let me see what he said. No, the wrong side. Okay, so and then this being appeared behind me, telling me to go into the now beautiful. Oh no, okay. So he started telling me. He said, "It's so beautiful, isn't it?" So I'm standing there at the like the bank. The water's coming up to about knee deep. This being appeared behind me. It looked like this black man. His skin was dark. That's all I remember. His skin was dark. And he appeared behind me and he was like, "It's so beautiful, isn't it?" And he told me to go into the water and go find my friend. And he said, "Before they do." I stepped my feet into the water and started running, and my friend appeared walking. So after the man told me how beautiful it looked down there, and he told me to go find my friend, and then the fish was floating in like mid air, like in the water, and he started talking something. I don't know. He was just like saying something. I don't remember what he was saying. But next thing you know, I started like trying to run into the water, and the more I went, the more the water got higher and higher. But then next thing you know, Deucey walked right by me. And I'm like, yo, you don't see me? So my friend appeared walking, but he couldn't see me. He looked mad, walked right. I went further into the water. I saw a dolphin-like things that resembled mermaids, but wasn't. My friend stood off on the rocks, still unable to see me. Somehow the water gave me strength and power. I went and found my friend's body. The spirit standing on the rocks returned back to him. I flew up to the surface. I flew up to the surface. And that's like all I remember. And you heard me burping as I was reading that as current confirmations too, because, okay, first of all, let's dive into this right quick. The more I've been diving deep into our Earth's core and what really makes up the earth, and the more I've been diving deep into all and having to unlearn, to relearn, to then re-educate myself on all the BS that they tried to teach us in the public school system. So it was like, now I felt like a dummy, because I'm sitting here thinking like, okay, so, and just basically a lot of stuff like that's why they be trying to ban people's accounts, because they know that when people are starting to wake up and realize like a lot of the stuff we've been ain't nothing but a bunch of lies. And spiritually, like I told y'all, a lot of us have been ascending. Ascending meaning you're starting to talk to people telepathically. Like, remember I told y'all I was able to hear that whole conversation before I even walked into the building at work. You're starting to see, like I saw that portal open up and that daggone lightning struck that man's vehicle, that 18-wheeler, that semi. When you start to hear the ringing in your ear, lately the past 2 nights I started hearing ringing in my ear. And then the minute I rang, because every time you like hear that ringing, it's like the spirit's trying to get your attention. So I'm like, okay, so I would answer like, okay, so what's the message? And I started to hear, "That's so, Raven." Remember, every time Raven got a premonition, she like she'll go like that, she'll get a headache, right? And then that's when she'll see whatever it was. So I got the ringing in my ear. And it was something else that I wrote down too, but I'll get there in a minute. Um yes, okay, yep. I got I wrote, it's so many messages. I have like one in pen. It's I literally had like 3 of these all last night. So as soon as I woke up this morning, I was like, okay, help me remember like what they were. I saw I had a premonition. I started ringing in my ear. I had a premonition of an airplane, like of somebody I know is about to be on an airplane. And then I read a message from somebody that posted something, and it said airplane noise. But anywho, let's just like when I get excited, y'all know how I jump from subject to subject. Stop playing. Y'all already know me by now. Stop it. Okay, so let's just dissect this freaking dream for a minute. Now, remember, I was just finished talking about how we learned about like the Earth's uncore, and like about the unsun. And like if you look at the sun now, I remember I told y'all again, it's not even yellow no more, it's white. A little projector white sun now we got. You know what I'm saying? The little fake sun we got now. And that's why you're finna have one of the most coldest, brutalist, if that's even a word, winters ever, because they trying to, yeah. So, but anyway, you remember that movie Journey to the Center of the Earth with The Rock, Dwayne Johnson? And when they went to the journey, when they went to, everything was literally flipped, like the opposite. So you would think that once you come from the surface and you go all the way down to the center of the earth, it'd be dark, probably like damp, like you remember them movies, like them cave movies, all them you be seeing all them creatures, and it just be dark and wet and all that noise you be hearing all night. And you would think it would be something like that, right? No, there's like wildlife. There's freaking animals down there. They got like vegetation. They got some of the most exotic, beautiful flowers, plants, trees, animals that we ain't never seen. And last night's dream was just a confirmation for that. Like, this sinkhole looked like it had to been at least 200 to 500 years. Man, it looked like I was looking up in space for like ever. So I get all the way down there, right? First, to give like the illusion, it looks like a bunch of rubble. right? All the rocks, all the, everybody, all the cars done fell or whatever. But I had to go on the opposite end of the barrier and go down like the side of, the rocks or whatever. So when I went on that side, you can't see what's below like the rubble unless you go like out in the cut somewhere, right? You gotta have like the plug. So I get all the way down to the bottom, and it was the most jaw-dropping scene I had. Okay. It reminded me of like Avatar, but of water. Avatar has all that, the trees, the vegetation, the flowers, the nature. But I'm about to rewatch Avatar again. But you don't really see like any oceans or anything like that. But this one was like the Avatar, cause so remember at night all like the plant life lit up and everything had like that what's that word, fluorescent light or whatever it was called, but like neat. So everything lit up in the freaking water. So I get all the way down there, right? The water's at least up to my knees. The fish starts saying something. Like I can see him, like I can hear him, oh yeah, you know what? So, and I can hear his voice. And I'm looking at the fish like, do I really like understand you? And I'm stuck. And then all of a sudden, the man appears behind, a black man appears behind me. He had on a white coat on, and he said, "It's so beautiful." And I turned around and I was like, he looked me in my eyes. He said, "Go find your friend before they do." And I was like, "They?" And he said, "Go on." I said, "Okay." So when I started, I started trying to run in the water. And I looked back. Of course, he was gone. Couldn't find him. I'm like, us and black people in water. Stop it. And then so again, like, you can see, oh my gosh. I saw like this dolphin looking thing. It was like shaped like a dolphin, but it wasn't. It was like purple or something. It was like a purplish, lavenderish looking. Oh my gosh. Then I saw like these they look human, but they were like not mermaids per se. They were like human, like fish, like human, like people, but they weren't ugly like mermaids, you know? And then the water, yo. The water looked like crystals were like crystals were given like this it's sparkling effect. So at the bottom of the water it was just sparkling. Yeah, I'm running and I'm observing at the same time. I was taking in everything because I'm nosy too. Shoot. And I'm sitting there trying to find Deucey, and I'm looking at, and it was so, even birds was flying down there. I'm like, how the world did y'all get all the way down here? Shoot. And I'm like watching the things, like I'm like, and so as I'm watching, I happen to look up, and Deucey a little bit taller than me, So I'm only like 5'6", 5'6.5", 5'7", and Deucey gotta be at least like, I would say about 5'10", so I have to kind of like look up to him a little bit. So I'm up there looking, I'm seeing all the, like these weird, like strange, like, like pterodactyls, and I used to be into dinosaurs too. I'm weird. Pterodactyl type, birds flying around. I'm like, what the world? And I happened to like look up because I'm looking at the flying birds, and I saw him, and I was like, and he walks right past me, and he goes off and stands on the rocks, and he got his little arms folded. And I'm like, hey, yo, you ain't see me stand right here? I'm all wet and I'm looking for you. What you doing? Let's go. But he never sees me. Like, he literally walks right past me. And I'm sitting here, and I'm standing in the middle of the water, because by this time, I done already ran on daggone there on the other side and looking for him. So but by the time I realized how far deep I was in that joker, boy, water was standing up to about yeah, right. So I turn around, I'm like, cause you got you gotta turn around all stiff because the water you can't just automatically turn like that. So I had to and again, but when I got all the way out to the bottom, I saw Deucey body like laying, and it felt like so now above my heart was basically covered in this crystallized water, right? Yo, I stood there for a minute. My whole being changed, y'all. My hair grew down my back, like my skin cleared up, like I started feeling like this strength, like this strength came over me. I reached down, I grabbed Deucey body, and next thing you know, I'm like, so I'm looking down at his body, I'm like, oh my gosh, you already kind of figured, two and two together, whatever. So I reached down and I said, come on, and I grabbed him. I looked back at Deucey that was standing on the rocks. He was gone. So I grabbed him like this. Yo, this Deucey gotta be it. Yo, you saw he a little Yo. Ooh. Oh, so ringing in this ear now. I don't know what that one means. I always get them in this one. But yeah, so I I literally picked him up like he was a feather. I picked Deucey up like this, like he was a teddy bear, like okay, like this. Like this. Like my whole arm was able to reach around him like this. And I said, let's go. And I said, whoo. And I flew up, y'all. I flew up out the dang water. And I took him wherever. Where? I don't know. I'm gonna rewrite this down. But for whatever reason, he was in my dream. I don't even know why. He's a Christian. Believes in God, very spiritual as well. And he's the one of the only ones that I can talk about like God and spiritual stuff about. Maybe that's why. And me and him have gotten like, he's able to talk to me, about little things that he go through or whatever. Very intelligent, very, very smart young man. Like, I don't know, I almost look at him as if he's like my son. And it was crazy is like me and him, you would, everybody think I'm like 28 over there. Everybody was like, Shay Shay, you about what, 28, 29? With a 20-year-old. How young y'all think I was doing that zip? I said, no, y'all, shoot, I'm about 4 or 5 years pushing 40. Stop playing. They was like, what? I'm like, yeah. So, Deucey, what, 19? Yeah. So, I mean, I got a 20-year-old. So I almost look at him like a son. You know what I'm talking about? So, but that man, the man that just appeared behind my shoulder and said, it's so beautiful, isn't it? But he was a big joker too, though. When I saw him, I was like, I felt his presence before anything. Like, I felt like he just felt so supreme or something. That joker walk. I ain't even hear him walk. Normally, you would hear somebody huffing and puffing coming down the daggone rocks too, because I'm breathing all fast, trying to skip the rocks, slipping and falling and carrying on down the rocks. And I stood there for a minute because I was in awe about what I saw. So I didn't hear homeboy even, like, he just appeared there. And when I realized that somebody was behind me, I happened to do one of these numbers. Like, yeah, where you come from? You don't have to sneak up on no person like that ever again. You're crazy. So, but he had dark skin. Like, you know, I'm like a reddish tint brown, whatever color you want to say it. About chocolate, I'm like, I say it's chocolate, whatever. You know. But his skin was like dark, like dark. He was like that Sudanese like complexion, and we was already in the daggone dark. I happened to look back on and do one of them, and I was like, oh look, all I see is teeth and eyeballs. Boy, don't you ever do that in your life. But I was so struck by what he said. He said, it's so beautiful. He was so calm. It's so beautiful, isn't it? Go find your friend before they do. I said, they, he said. He looked at me like, like he gave me one of them looks like, you know who they are. Gone. I said, okay. You ain't got to tell me twice, sure. I'm going. And that's when I started hauling tail. Yo, if I can revisit this dream, yo, my nose something about this dream. So I'm trying to smut in my nose. I'm burping and carrying on. Look, like, if I can revisit this, I'm finna fall asleep right now, just so I can revisit that thing, boy. I want to know where I took Deucey to. But it was the fact that when I stepped into that water had healing powers in it. Like it whatever on the surface, like, I have, like, you have your spirit. Whatever's up there on the surface is like, it limits us. Like, it kind of keeps us stagnated. It does not. The atmosphere is so toxic and so filled with all these daggone them airplane cloud things. What them things called? I forgot. Vapor lines or something, whatever. The jets be shooting the toxic gas out in the air or whatever. The air is so pollutant. Even the grass, they say, you reconnect with nature. You be wanting to step out foot on the grass, but the grass is so like dense and don't even like, it's not even. But anyway, like the up on the surface, it's like every day you have to like literally dig deep and fight for your rights, your own rights to have your powers reignited into you. It's your birthright. You were born for this. You were given this at birth. You had a contract. You had a birthright. Y'all remember I told you about that round table? So when everybody agreed that you was about to come down, you came through that woman portal. You chose the life that you're living like now. That's why they say you were born into sin. Yeah, you were born into this toxicity. You were born into just being dumbed down, your natural abilities, who you truly are, who you truly were. And, everything is just so tainted and foul and corrupted, and lies, deceit, manipulation. Everything's just, this earth is just, ugh. But you go down there into that water. It was like everything that had been stolen from us from like birth